Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for dropping by the Cozy Cushion today. Today is Ruby Tuesday. I thought I'd drop by, create another video for you all. Once again, in the Movement is Medicine series. So, in today's talk, I'm just going to take this opportunity to talk about how our thoughts create stress. Oftentimes, it's our thoughts and our inability to regulate our own thoughts, feelings, and emotions. We don't realize that we can create this button inside of ourselves to regulate our emotional stress levels completely and quite easily and simply. So that's why I wanted to drop by today and talk to you about that because it's very, very important. And we have a tendency to forget it quite often. So, where our thoughts can create stress and most of the stress in our lives, I just want to remind you of the most important principle that I've learned in my lifetime here. And it's a very important spiritual principle as well. And that's that our thoughts, become things. So if we focus our thoughts on all the things we can't have, be, or do, we're going to get those things. So a long time ago, when I was young and thought I knew everything, I watched a movie, of course, called The Secret, and that kind of really brought home the thoughts become things principles. So I took that principle and applied it to my own life. And ever since I've done that, my life has changed so much for the better every day in every way. And in so many ways, I didn't realize that I was causing my own stress, primarily about the stories that I was telling myself with my thoughts. So I used to be a single mom that had no money. So a lot of my thoughts and feelings and emotions were completely based around not having enough. And even though that was a real situation I had in life in real time, my thoughts about it didn't improve the situation. It actually probably held me back a lot. So that's why it's so important for me to come here today and talk about this because I think we're all a little bit guilty at times of allowing our thoughts get in the way of leveling up in life. And so for me, some of the thoughts that used to become things in my life was as I moved through life, I didn't graduate from high school and I didn't go to university. So one of the thoughts that I had was I needed that to make a good income. So I accepted very early on in life and placed a very small number on my personal value. There was a period of time in my life where I accepted that 12.50 an hour for my time was a great pay and that I would make it work because that's what I was really good at, the spiritual stuff, the wishful thinking and the magic, so to speak. So once I started applying the thoughts become things principle to my life, I realized I really needed to clean up my thoughts because a lot of them were terrible, and they weren't serving me. So I had to reprogram myself, and I collected tools along the way and great books. One of the best books I read that helped me with this was Conversations with God, Neale Donald Walsch, which is a book I highly recommend and really helped me with this whole new idea of the better the thoughts, the better the life. So I had to build my stop button on my story because my story was very sad, it was very limited, and it was very disempowering. So once I realized that there was a connection between my voice, my mind, and my heart, and I could build a stop button that I could just, when I was getting anxious or worried, or my thoughts were keeping me up at night, I learned and taught myself that there was a figurative button in my mind that I could stop and press. And I called it the story, the storytelling button. I could stop that story at any time, from I'm Natasha, I'm a single mom on welfare, and I got to eat from the food bank, to it's hard for me to survive, to I'm Natasha, I'm the owner of my own company, and I've helped my family help themselves by taking the step into being a female entrepreneur. Two completely different stories. So once I realized that along the way, there were so many times where I had to hit that stop button, hear my thoughts and what I was saying to myself. So this was very much a relationship with myself. So today's conversation is really deeply connected to the loving relationships we have with ourselves and who we are and who we want to become, and preparing our own roadmap to live our best life and live a purposeful life. And that's what I love talking about every day. That's what brings me here every Ruby Tuesday, is the idea that we can build our own lives in the best way by figuring out who we are, the beliefs that we have, and the thoughts that we think can really change the dynamics of our whole entire life and how we help ourselves. So we need to build that stop button when our head's spinning with ideas or worries or outcomes of things that may potentially happen. We need to have that breath, which I talk about every time we're here. So everybody just stand nice and tall. Put your head up, your shoulders down and back. You don't need to be hunched up protecting yourself or hunched over scrolling on your phone, trying to get your dopamine fix. You can actually just stop. Connect yourself, foot level, feet level on the ground, hip width apart, shoulders down and back, our spine nice and tall, so that movement of energy is moving through our whole body. Our heart is beating differently. Our spine is able to read all the energy from our nerves. Our shoulders are down and back, reducing the heavy weight that we put on ourselves when we worry and carry things that are heavy that no longer belong to us. So whether it's our childhood trauma, whether it's our heavy relationships we haven't yet figured out, or whatever it is, we can stand tall, take a moment to step back, hit the stop button, stop whatever it is we're doing, including the story we were telling in our head of how the day's just going to be shittier because it got ruined by a bad phone call this morning. We stop it. We have a breath, or 5, or 10, or 15. The more you build this muscle, the more time you're going to give yourself. And it is going to be the best relationship you've ever had with anybody on this earth, is giving yourself time to process and trust your own journey, and that you do have your own way. And it's going to release stress from expectations and other outcomes that don't work anymore with us. So once we say no, we stop the needless worry, we move our thoughts to a positive flow. That, friends, is medicine. And we're in control of that. Nobody else on the planet has the right or the ability to change our thoughts other than ourselves. And we forget that every single day. If you hear dogs in the background, my apology. So we can stop those needless thoughts that are causing our worries and really not doing us any good. They're just upsetting us. Our heart rate's going up. We are getting scattered. We're not getting anything done. We can just hit that stop button. I remember Staples had a button, and you could go in and hit it, and it was the, the stop button. And that's kind of really where I got this idea years ago, and it's helped me so much in my life. So we can move our thoughts to a positive flow, and that's the movement is medicine, and that's the sacred medicine that I wanted to offer you today, and talk a little bit. So where do we go once we stop our thoughts? We move on to better thoughts, and that's where meditation comes in so handy. And we can start these affirmations depending right where we're at, right as we are. We can stop picking ourselves apart. We can stop trying to make everything perfect and trying to build a perfect relationship with everyone on the planet. We can stop it. We can take a breath, go inside. We can stop the monkey in our mind, and we can open our heart by having our shoulders down and back. And we can remind ourselves we are safe. We are okay. We are loved. We are beautiful. We are capable. We are deserving. We are worthy. We've got this, and it's going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. And most importantly, each of us, no matter where we're at, what we're doing, what we're working with, everybody has the potential to start today and make every day a little bit better. Make our thoughts, every time we catch ourselves in a train of bad thoughts, we can stop ourselves, retrain those thoughts, loop back around, make them more productive and work for us and not against us. That's what self-sabotage is thoughts that accumulate and run through us, sometimes for years. And it's this loop of uncertainty and disconnection and things that have been broken. And and when we're telling ourselves that stuff, it actually breaks down our body systems. It puts our chakra systems into a state of what I call the unbalanced washer mode. Our head is oscillating with all these thoughts, and we wonder why we don't feel okay. We feel tired, we're not getting any sleep, we're struggling mentally, physically, and spiritually. Our bank accounts are draining. We're not getting the right food to eat. We're not taking time for ourselves. We are unhappy, and it all starts with our relationship with ourselves. It's self-responsibility, and taking that responsibility and creating a map, identifying what's not working for us, and stepping up to the plate and giving ourselves credit where credit is due. For the longest time I needed to tell myself, Natasha, you've made it this far very successfully. And a lot of those fears that you had when you were young and those things that you did to survive are no longer with you, and you need to let them go. And you need to be okay to let them go. It's okay to let your scarcity go. Those are only thoughts. You have great potential to move forward in your life. And friends, if you've watched this far, you have that absolute potential as well. So those of you that are just coming here and kind of found me, let me introduce myself. I'm Natasha Greeno. I'm the creator of the Cozy Cushion Sacred Space, and I am your spiritual mentor and coach, here to help you every Tuesday with a video that's inspiring, motivating, and will hopefully help you tap into your highest potential and the greatest relationship you can ever have on this planet while we were here, and that's your relationship with yourself. And I'm here to also help you build your spiritual muscles. Oftentimes, a lot of us get stuck in grief and loneliness and uncertainty in our relationships and our jobs and careers. And our jobs and careers start taking more from us than giving to us. And I really love to talk to you one-on-one and tap into your true potential, especially using my intuitive guidance during a reading, so we can take a look at your full potential and bring you to your current life and help reduce those stories that no longer serve you. And you can reach out to me on Instagram at Natasha_Greeno, or of course on my Cozy Cushion Facebook page. You can also add me there. And you can always leave me comments down below after you watch my video, and I can reach out to you that way, or answer any of your questions as well. So if at any point you have any questions about maybe how I arrange my meetings, or how you can talk to me one-on-one, or about my readings, just reach out to me in that way, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And lastly, on Earth, we need to understand one of the greatest muscles that we have is our ability to dream, our ability to create our own plans in life, and our ability to be our own true selves. And I want to encourage everybody that's watching this video today to get to know yourself, get to know your true self, and appreciate and love that person as you are. Chances are really good there may be some things in your life that you need to change or minimize and eventually let go, and that's okay. But so many people get stuck believing they need better education, they need they need a spiritual community to start, they need friends to not feel so lonely, they need their relationship or their partner or potential person in their life to be different so that they can be happy. And really, when it comes right down to it, friends, the only person that can change any of that is you, for you. So I just want to encourage you that when you tap into your true potential and your true self, and you live your full-time purpose, I promise you that every day and every way things are just going to get better and better. Every day and every way, things are just going to get better and better. And every time we think we want to change in our life, regardless of what it is. For me, I'm trying to quit smoking. And it's been difficult. I won't talk a lot about it, but it's been a struggle. So one of the things that I need to do, and every time I'm struggling, I really tell myself movement is medicine. So I move. I go outside. I go for a walk in the yard. I spend time in my barn. And I don't fall back to my old habits, because I know my new plan doesn't have those habits in it. My new plan is to save money. And my new plan is to get healthier and to not be reliant on some of the things that I've relied on in the past, and to rely more on my body's full potential as being a living, healthy, breathing human that's capable of so much more healing that I've gotten really lazy in. And I don't want to do that to myself anymore, because I have so much potential. My whole career before doing this and creating my own business was in health and wellness. And that's taught me a lot. Most importantly, about our thoughts becoming things, and how that works for us if we let it. So today I'm just going to end on this note. Thank you so, so much for joining me, listening to me, following me, subscribing, maybe even sharing some information. So I usually leave you with a couple things, and I am going to leave you with a couple things today. One is the Hawaiian prayer, which I like to go through. So we're going to do the Hawaiian prayer. And then after the Hawaiian prayer, I just want you to sit with me for 1 more minute while we just have some breath together. So some of you may know the Hawaiian prayer, some of you, it's going to feel weird, and that's okay, but it's really going to transform our whole world, because I believe these words are not said enough, and they're very healing, not only to me, but they're healing to our whole world. So I'm going to say them a lot this whole year. So the first thing is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. And thank you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. Make sure you take an opportunity to live in a healthy body, friends. So many of us don't have that opportunity. So I'm grateful that we all woke up and we're here today. We're going to take this moment in Medicine is Movement. We're going to nourish our lungs and our complete central nervous system today. So we're just going to put our hands behind our head today, shoulders up. We're going to be nice and relaxed. So if you have pain in your shoulders, neck, back, spine, or anything, be very gentle here. So if your hands don't touch, that's fine. If they need to be here, that's fine. And just rest them, even if it's up on top of your head. That's fine. If you can't lift them all, that's also fine. I just want you to take a moment and just have a very gentle breath in and out. We're going to go in for 5 breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose, completely back into our mind, into our head, not into our lungs. And there is a difference. So just stay with me for 5. In through the nose, as deep as we can. Exhale either through the nose or through the mouth. Doesn't really matter. I want you to be gentle with yourself. The important thing is we're having conscious breath in through the mouth, or into the nose, sorry. Out. In as deep as we can. And out. All the air out. If you're getting dizzy, friends, please sit down. In through the nose. Nice and deep. And exhale out. Final breath in through the nose as deep as we can. Back into the head. And exhale. Nice and slow. Controlled. The way out. Completely through the breath. And just feel where you are right now. If your mind is still worried or scattered, ask yourself why you're quiet here. I wonder what guest will wander through my mind next. I wonder what guest will wander through my mind next. I want you to start wondering about who you really are. And I want you to take steps every day in every way to get better and better in every way. Thank you for tuning in, folks. I love my sacred space, and I love that you meet me here. So you take care. Have a fantastic day for the rest of your day. I hope you get a good night's sleep. Everybody is not sleeping well enough, so maybe next week I'll do a sleep breathing meditation video, perhaps, that will help if you have trouble sleeping. So always remember, protect your peace, and you are loved by me.